Good morning, children. Today we are going to continue with our topic on comprehension passage. I hope you remember what we did yesterday. Do you remember what is a comprehension? What is the meaning of the word comprehension? Yes, comprehension is our ability to understand something which we hear or which we read. Here, of course, it is the reading section in your paper, and reading section is the first section in your paper. It may have two passages, one prose passage and the other a poem, or it may have more than two depending on the length and the marks allotted to the passage. Now, some children do not give much importance to this section, but this is a long section, carries a lot of marks, and you can score very well in it if you do it well, and so it makes a lot of difference in your overall marks. So you must do it very attentively and gain marks, because it's not difficult to get marks in the comprehension section if you read the passage properly. Now, what are the three qualities or skills I told you you need? First, concentration. You have to concentrate on the passage you are reading. Second, you must have the ability to differentiate the things which are important and the things or the ideas mentioned in the passage which are unimportant, and write only what is needed and leave the ones which are not needed. And of course, you should have a good vocabulary, because there are many questions based on giving synonyms, meanings of words, antonyms, etc. So these three skills are required, and these improve a lot if you practice doing or answering a comprehension passage, reading a comprehension passage, and then answering the questions. Now, what is the marking scheme for the comprehension passage? It depends on the teacher. There's no hard and fast rule in most of the schools. Of course, CBSE has a set pattern, but we try to follow that pattern, but we can have a different way for every passage. We could ask you multiple choice questions where a choice is given, three or four options are given, and you have to select the correct one or choose the correct one. You may be asked short questions where you just have to write one word answer. You may be asked short questions where you may have to write a sentence or two sentences. You may have long answers for some question. Of course, if you have to write long answers, the marks allotted will be more to that question. Or you may have a question with two parts, something and then why or where. Now, some children answer the first part and they forget the second part, so they lose half the mark. If a question is in two parts, you must answer both the parts. And then, of course, vocabulary based questions are there. You may be asked to find the meaning. You may be asked to find a synonym, an antonym, or one word for many words, etc. Now, the best way to attempt any question is, before starting, you look at the marks, and the marks will tell you how many marks each question carries. Sometimes we gave total number of marks, sometimes they gave marks for each question. But if you have 5 questions and the marks allotted are 5, obviously you have one mark for each question. But sometimes you have a longer question and maybe you have just 4 questions. One is a long one and 3 are short. So they may allot, or we may allot, 2 marks to the one where you have to write a longer answer, and 1 mark for each of the others which require short answers. So please look at the marks and write after reading the passage carefully. Now, as I told you yesterday, once you have to read it quickly to get an idea what the passage is about. Then you have to read it at least twice. That means you have to read it a second time carefully, paying attention to each sentence and each word and trying to get the meaning of each sentence. If you don't know the meaning of a word in a sentence, you have to infer the meaning. That means you have to try and make out what it means. Or you may even guess the meaning, but then the meaning you guess has to be according to what it is in the passage. A word may have 3 or 4 meanings, but then I have to use that meaning or write the meaning which the word means in the passage and not the other 3. And when you are writing synonyms, antonyms, or meanings, please try to write just one. Some children, for example, you have the word enormous, and in the passage you have huge. Then some children try to write huge, big, or huge, comma, large. Now, you may have one word which is right and the other may be wrong, so you lose marks. When they have asked you for one word, write just one word and whatever they want. If they want a synonym, write a synonym. If they want an antonym, you write antonym. So please read the instructions properly. Now, there are different types of passages which you may get. The first one we did yesterday as a sample was a factual passage or an informative passage where factual information like a description of something is given or a report or some instructions about attempting to do something or how something works, something which gives facts and information. Then the second type is the discursive passage. Now, discursive usually discusses, or it is interpretive or argumentative. That means the thing or the incident or something which has happened is mentioned, but then the writer interprets it and explains to you. And so this is a bit difficult, more difficult than the factual one. Usually for you, it is usually the factual or the third kind. Now, what is the third kind? It is the literary texts. That means they take some extracts from novels, plays, biography, or a poem. Or they may give you a short poem or a short essay which is included in literary texts. For you, discursive will very rarely come, may come once in a while, but for you all, the common ones are the factual or the informative articles and the literary texts. These two are common. We may take an excerpt from any novel. Maybe we take an excerpt from Harry Potter and give it to you and base questions on that. We may take a poem written by Rabindranath Tagore where the mind is without fear. The text is there. You have to read the poem and answer the questions that follow. And these all are literary pieces. So for you, most of the time, either a literary passage is going to come, a literary text from some poem or from some play or novel, or even a biography or a factual article. Now, what can be the expected type of questions? What type of questions can you expect? First, of course, is sentence completion. They may give you a sentence which is half there and half you have to complete in your own words. You may also have, like I told you, MCQs, where a question is followed by many options and you have to choose the correct one. Then you may have gap filling, that means a blank somewhere in the middle. You have gaps in the middle which you have to fill up. Then sometimes you may have a table which is incomplete and you have to complete it. Then, of course, brief questions and answers. Match the following columns, true or false. They may give you a sentence and ask you which one is true. They may also ask you which one is false out of many options if they give. Or if it is just one sentence, they may ask you to write true or false. So you have to read the instruction properly whether they want you to find the true sentence or a false sentence. Then, of course, I told you vocabulary exercises will be there. You'll get synonyms, antonyms, or you may also get some things on grammar, like they may ask you to find four nouns from the passage, or four prepositions from the passage, or phrasal verbs from the passage. Something which we have done in grammar before may be asked from the passage, and you'll have to find those out. Then, of course, summary is there, but we usually don't give summary because it is too long for a passage in Form 7. But you can be asked to write a suitable title. The title may be there. Sometimes then you may be asked to give another title, a suitable one, of course, and attention grabbing, interesting title, or the passage may be without a title and you may be asked to give a title to it. Now, what you have to remember is, first, look at the marks, attempt doing the questions accordingly. Second, try to use the meaning which is used in the passage. Please don't write other meanings. And of course, read the instruction properly and then do what they have asked. Now, yesterday, I had given you as prep three passage, A1, A2 and A3 to do in your skill enhancer. Have you all done it? I'm sure you all must have done it because these are very easy. The first one, which is A1, I had asked you to do after reading the solved examples. There is one, Nicole's drums as a solved example, which is to be read, which had to be read. Then Mom is a poem which you had to read and then look at the solved example. And the third one was The Lion. Now, the first one is a literary piece because it is an excerpt from a story. Second one again is a literary one because it's a poem. And the third one is a factual or informative piece because it is on lion and information is given on lion. And then the fourth one is again a poem, ordinary, sorry, ordinary and extraordinary. I hope you have gone through all these solved examples. If you have not, please go through them today. Now, A1, I am sure was not difficult at all. It was very easy for you because the passage is a short passage, a prose. Daniel loves the beach. The title is given and the story is about Daniel and his family. So first you all must have read it quickly and to find what the passage is about, and then I am sure and I hope everyone must have read it once more to carefully find out the meanings and to understand the sentences. Now let us compare the answers. Please open A1 in your skill enhancer and take a pencil to tick your answers if they are correct. If they are wrong, you can circle it and tick the other one. Now I'm reading the first one. What problem do Daniel and his family face while going to the beach? A. The beach is very near. Sorry, 1. The beach is very near. 2. It takes hours to get there and back. 3. All are tired of going and returning. And fourth, 2 and 3. Now, which one have you taken? It is 2 and 3 because it takes very long. It takes many hours to go there and come back. And all are very tired. Daddy, that is Daniel's father, is tired because he has to drive, and all the others also get tired just sitting. So the fourth option, which is 2 and 3. Now B, which is the false statement? Now this one you have to read carefully, otherwise you think they are asking you for the true statement. They are not asking you to take or choose the true one. They have asked you to choose the false one. Now the first one, Daniel's family is fond of the beach, which of course is true. They really love going to the beach. Second, they get there by the car. That again is true. They go every Saturday by car. Now they go there every Sunday. Third one. And the fourth one, they have a dog. They have a dog again is true. So which one is false? The third one. They go there every Sunday because they don't go there every Sunday. They go there on Saturday. So third one is false. So you have to take the third one. Now C. C again is very easy. How do they find the solution to their problem? Now it was very tiring, it was very far, and they wanted to go to the beach. They did not want to go somewhere else. So what was the solution to their problem? How did they solve the problem? First, they give up going to the beach, which of course they did not. Second, they get there by air. No. Third, they decide to shift near the beach. Fourth, they go to the swimming pool. Now, which one have you taken? Yes, the third one, they decide to shift near the beach. So, if they shift near the beach, it will be nearer. It will take a shorter time and they will also be fresh and not get tired. Now, find the synonyms. Now, what are synonyms? Opposites or with similar meaning, same meaning. So you have to find the meaning or the word for exhausted from the passage. Exhausted is given, and from the passage you have to find another word which means exhausted. Yes, tired. Tired, tired. Now B, the word is reach. Which word can you write from the passage which means the same as reach? Arrive. Arrive. Now you have space for answers on the other page. After ticking, you have to write the answers in the space provided for the answers, and please use a pencil in your skill enhancer. Now the second one is an informative or factual piece or prose. It is on water cycle. You all have done water cycle in your science. Here, some difficult words, a glossary has been given. The meanings are given there. So now let us see the first one. Precipitation is, what is precipitation? Water released from clouds in the form of rain. Second, another name for water evaporation. Third, a continuous water cycle. And fourth, cloud formation. No, it is not water cycle. It is not water evaporation. It is not cloud formation. So which is the correct one? Water released from clouds in the form of rain. Precipitation is water released from the clouds in the form of rain. So the first one you have to tick. B. The areas far from oceans or large water bodies receive more rain, less rain, moderate rain, heavy rain. Now the areas receive, these areas are usually close. See, the sentence says some places receive more precipitation than others do. These areas are usually close to oceans or large bodies of water that allow more water to evaporate and form clouds. Other areas receive less precipitation. So the areas far from oceans or large water bodies receive more or less rain. Far receive less. If you are near water bodies or areas which are near oceans, then you receive more rain. So here, which is the correct one? Because they are asking about places far from oceans or large water bodies, they receive less rain. So the second one. Now see, hydrologic means repeated water evaporation and precipitation. 2. A water cycle. 3. Formation of clouds. And 4th, repeated change of water in solid, liquid and gas. Now it is explained in our passage. What does it mean? It means that repeated water evaporation and precipitation. Now on the next page, find synonyms. Again, you have to find words which mean the same of the following words or phrases from the passage. The first one, a layer of rock or sand that can absorb and hold water. Okay, let us continue. Find the synonyms of the following words, phrases from the passage. A layer of rock or sand that can absorb and hold water. What is the word for it? It is mentioned in the glossary also. Aquifer. Aquifer. It is aquifer, sorry, there's no C. Aquifer, aquifers. So here it is a singular word, a layer. So you will just write the singular word, a layer of rock or sand that can absorb and hold water. So what are you going to write? Aquifer. Now the second one, refill. Refill means replenish. Both these words are mentioned in the glossary. So if you had read the glossary, you would have found the synonyms. Now we go to A3, which again was the prep yesterday. History becomes fun at this school. Now this is a report which you can see has been adapted from the Times of India, and the date is also mentioned. Some words have been given in the glossary as well. Now history becomes fun at this school. The theme of the passage is how the studies have grown interesting. 2. That history is fun. 3. Introduction of a new study pattern. And 4. Students' positive response to a novel teaching aid. Now the important point is the first one, how studies have grown interesting. So the theme of the passage is how studies have grown interesting, and we take the first one. Now B, name the things introduced in the studies. 1. Role play comics. 2. Role play comics discussions. 3. Role play comics discussions writing. 4th, enactment, comics, listening and speaking and writing. Yes, the fourth one, there is enactment, comics, listening, speaking, writing, everything is there. Now see, the passage has a message for, now the passage has a message to give. The message has to be given to whom? Every school, every teacher, every student, the school authorities. It has a message for the school authorities because after they approve of something to be done in the school, the students, the teacher, and the school can do it. So the passage has a message for the school authorities. Now find the synonyms of the following words from the passage. Now, because it is a little longer, the passage has 3 paragraphs. They have even mentioned the para number. So your work becomes easier. The first word is motivated and it is in paragraph 1 or para 1. Could you find the word? Yes. It is encouraged. Motivated and encouraged are synonyms. Now B is diagrams. Diagrams, something which you draw, which others can see. So the word used for diagrams is in paragraph 3 and the word used in para 3 is visuals. So motivated, a synonym for motivated is encouraged, and B, the synonym for diagrams is visuals. Now we have discussed these three. First one, second, that means A1, A2, and A3. Today in the ERP app, you'll get 3 more passage to read and answer. And we are going to discuss some more important tips on comprehension and reading comprehension tomorrow. Please complete all the 3, and if you have not done these 3 also should be done. Thank you, children, till we meet for another interesting class. Thank you. Take care.